Hello Sagittarius. Thank you for joining me for your March 2021 General Tarot reading. This is an open reading, so it's not going to be focused on any subject like a lot of readings are. This is completely open, and whatever is going to come out is going to come out. So it's up to Spirit and the cards to bring out the message, and hopefully, Sagittarius, I can interpret that in a way that fits with your life circumstances. But it's not going to be for everybody, okay? Just can't be. So, what is happening for you, Sagittarius, in the month of March? Sagittarius, month of March. I'm going to pull some of these first, and then we're going to pull the tarot cards, and we're going to do a traditional tarot reading, okay? So you have download divine love. This is receiving spiritual guidance. Archangel Michael. This is about truth, understanding, consciousness, spirituality, but downloads. Sagittarius downloads. It's all about receiving that spiritual guidance, advice, wisdom. And they have time to go. And a blessing of the earth. So, the blessing of the earth to me is all about connections, spiritual connections, especially with the tree here in this card. The trees often depict things of a spiritual nature. But this is that connection to nature, to spirit, and you have time to go. This is time for change in your life, Sagittarius. But I think the most important thing I see here right now is the download divine love. It's like the divinity of God coming through. It's wisdom, it's spiritual understanding. It's revelations coming through for you. So that's all about that Archangel Michael energy. Alright, so Sagittarius, we are going to, here we go, the center of everything, Knight of Pentacles. I think Aries and Leo both had Knight of Pentacles. I believe. I know at least Leo did. Ten of Wands, your challenge. Your challenge is to let something go so that you can move forward, Sagittarius. There was a time you were feeling defensive, but I feel like that's finally over with. So that might make sense for some of you. If you were feeling defensive, like you were on the defensive, and now I feel like that time is over. And as I say that, the death card kind of pops out here in the advice. Three of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, and finally Four of Wands. Nice, Sagittarius. It's like you're establishing a new foundation moving forward. And you have the Eight of Cups as your overall. So time to go, Eight of Cups. This is a new path forward for you, Sagittarius. So whether you're embarking on a new journey, or you're just kind of like going towards something that's more appealing, or you're leaving behind something that's very unappealing. I feel like, but I did say I felt like you were on the defensive in the recent past. And I don't know why, because there isn't anything specifically that tells me that you were on the defensive, but I just see this as like there's something here that tells me like you were having to defend your position, or defend your point of view, or defend something. And in that, it's like I almost see that because the Nine of Wands is in your goal, your outcome. It's like finally you can put down those defenses, and you don't have to keep you don't have to stand your ground against something or someone anymore, Sagittarius. And of course, in your challenge, the Ten of Wands is letting that go. It's finally letting that go so you can move on to better places. But your current circumstances, Knight of Pentacles, it's the change that in the direction that you want in your life coming through. But it's kind of like it's like it coming in at a trickle. It's not happening all that fast, but that's kind of what you're working toward. I think the Eight of Pentacles, a recent past, Sagittarius, you really put your energy into this change in your life. So you want to shift direction. You want to go in a completely different direction, Sagittarius, or you're taking something on that is taking a lot of your time, efforts, but it's something that's either profitable or it's just productive in one way or the other. There's some benefit to you in this productivity that is coming out in the recent past, and that's kind of what you're putting your effort into, but you might feel like your effort doesn't match the pace in which things are changing, and that's kind of that Knight of Pentacles. It's like, okay, it's coming, but it's like, why is it not happening as fast as it should? I'm working incredibly hard, and as hard as I'm working, the pace of this coming through, the pace of the change and the direction I want things to turn into isn't matching up with that. And I think that is kind of your challenge, and you're holding on to that with the Ten of Wands, but I think you need to release that and realize that you know, the work you're putting in to things right now doesn't necessarily say that you're going to at the same time get an equal output. So your equal input doesn't, your input doesn't mean you're going to get the equal output right away. You might put a lot in, and it might take some time to get that output back and then some. So that's kind of how you're looking at things. I hope that makes sense the way I'm explaining that. But so anyway, but your King of Swords here is in your subconscious. I think that you really sometimes you have a tendency to question yourself privately, you know, not publicly to other people, but you're kind of thinking about things like, okay, am I really doing the right thing? Because this just doesn't seem to be happening as fast as I want it to. So again, whatever you're working on, whatever you're trying to change in your life, you know, it's like, to me, this is a positive direction with the Eight of Cups. I see the Eight of Cups as a very positive card, because it means we're willing to let go of something that isn't so great. We're willing to let go of something that's holding us back. And so I see this as positive change in this, especially with the time to go. You know, that time to go is, it's like time for positive change. It's a positive change in direction. And I would agree with the Knight of Wands, although sometimes I feel like the Knight of Wands can be a bit immature or a bit impulsive. I don't see that in this card. I see the Knight of Wands in this card as like this willingness to move forward, but this kind of looking back behind him or herself, and it's like, okay, can I completely let this situation go? It's like I'm moving forward, but that might be part of the reasons why this Knight of Pentacles is showing up. It's like your hesitation is slowing down things subconsciously. It isn't something you're doing on purpose, but that is a possibility. Now, here in the advice, you have the Death card. This is just simply let go. Let go of everything. Be willing to let it go. Let go of predetermined outcomes. Let go of expectations. I think that you have to be willing to just sever any cords and ties to the things that you want to distance yourself from, to the things that you really don't want in your life anymore. Three of Pentacles, your external environment. This again is all about your work, working with others, but I think that this is more about you know, it's like, I think that you have to be willing to open up to others, to receive, or you have to be willing to look at other options in your work, whatever you're trying to do. Some of you, this definitely isn't about relationships necessarily. This is about your work ethic. This is about your drive and determination, your stability, your long-term outcome, what makes you happy in life. This is about you finding your happiness, you know, your rainbow is kind of how I see this. And so I think, like, I see this dissatisfaction, but I think sometimes you close yourself off, Sagittarius, and I think that Three of Pentacles is saying that you need to be willing to open up to other people, other people's ideas, other people's help, suggestions, or even collaborating and just working with other people in general. I think you might have a tendency to close yourself off sometimes, because I think you might be a little protective of, you know, what you have intended for yourself, and so you might not have the tendency to open up and let people in completely. You have a card here of you know, this is nurturing, the Queen of Cups. So yeah, I think that you're really trying to nurture a dream, an idea. I don't think that, you know, I think, yeah, you want a better future for yourself. It could very well be that you have a partner, somebody important in your life that you're working very hard for. Like sometimes you might think I'm doing this for them when you're in fact doing it for the both of you. But like this is the card of nurturing here. This is the card of like helping something mature and grow up into something that's like going to leave a legacy at some point. Because sometimes the Queen of Cups is about that emotional legacy. It's about that legacy of fulfillment, establishment, and you know, you have the Four of Wands and the outcome. So it's like this kind of like these kind of two cards go together. It's like, you know, the dream and the outcome. You know, it's like you want this, you want to leave an inheritance. You want to leave, and I don't necessarily mean like a money inheritance, but it's like you want to leave a legacy, and it's like you want to leave your mark on this planet, because there are 6 billion people, and so many of us, yeah, we make a mark, but people don't really remember who we are when we're gone. And I think that's something that kind of troubles you, because I think you see how unique each and every one of us are as individuals. So this is just like this existential crisis, maybe a little side note here in this reading, but you know, I think that's like you're trying to nurture and grow something into something that leaves some kind of legacy, leaves some kind of imprint on this world. And I think that's probably one of the most important things to you, Sagittarius. It's like a virtue of yours, but you're working very hard toward this goal. And I think the outcome is like you want those new foundations. You know, the Four of Wands, to me, it's almost always about what's underneath. Okay, what are they standing on? It's solid ground. It's a foundation, and I think that that's ultimately what you want in your life. Everything that you build upon, you want it on a solid foundation, like this Four of Wands. You know, it's like some of this kind of makes me feel a little bit melancholy here, but I don't know why. I kind of get this feeling like it's like this is something you've worked toward very long, for a very long time, and you know, now that you're nearing the crux of that, it's like this. There's this bittersweet feeling that comes through for me, and I don't know. That's really strange. You know, it's just an emotion I feel as I'm talking about this, but. You know, this ultimately, this Four of Wands is your destination. I think this is what you're working toward in March. And I think each and every day that you go forward, this is kind of like you're getting closer and closer to having that solid foundation, to, you know, a better home, family, stability, values, virtue, morals, just there's so much that comes with this. It's really the card of like a wholesome picture to me, is kind of how I feel this is, especially with the Queen of Cups and nurturing something that's so young and in its infancy. And you know, it doesn't necessarily mean nurturing a child or children. It's just nurturing something that's very young in its infancy stages. And so that's what you're working very hard toward, Sagittarius. So definitely an interesting reading for me. It kind of took a turn that I didn't expect. But, you know, this is the time to really push yourself forward. Keep going, because it's not that far off, even though you feel like it probably at times it's just coming so slowly. All right, Sagittarius, I'm going to let you go, and thank you for stopping by. If this was your story, it was probably a very specific read for one or two people, but that's fine. Leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know. Thanks for joining me.